Okay, we are live on Facebook. Hello, anyone out in Facebook land? Hello, we're from North Vancouver. This is Brenda, and how do you say your last name? Benham, from the Memorable Presenter, and she is a member of the ladies meeting and also our speaker this month, which is very exciting. At our luncheon, if you haven't been out to the ladies meeting before, you can go to ladiesmeeting.com, look up the hashtag the ladies meeting, and we're on Eventbrite. We're not hard to find. And to become a speaker, you do have to become a member or a sponsor, one or the other. And we are a women in business group, and we meet on the last Tuesday of every month, except for December, because that would be a little crazy. And my name is Anissa Jane, and I love to interview my members and get to know a little bit more about people every month. And when you're a speaker, it gives me a chance to hang out with you more. We've been talking about your presentation. Our back office is called the Entrepreneur Collective, so she's all set up there to hook up with. Boys or girls can go back there, which is kind of fun too. So our office has courses and classes and groups that and networking and training that you can, whether you're a man in business or a woman in business, you can go back there and check it out. So if you haven't listened to the podcast before, I ask everyone the same approximate 8 questions. They get to answer it however they want, and you get to know our members better. So when we have our luncheon, I recommend that people bring 2 business cards. So as we were just talking about, 3 business cards, 1 for the draw. 3 card business protocol is what I call it. You bring 2 to meet 2 other amazing women and 1 for the draw, and that means I get to keep that. So you don't need to bring a stack of business cards. You don't need to worry about meeting a whole ton of people. Come and meet 1 or 2 women and then meet with them again before the next meeting or at the next meeting. Some people come because we meet at the Sylvia Hotel. Some people will come and hang out a little bit before, or they'll still stay after and do their one-on-one with other members there, which is really fun too, because it's an amazing location. Or head out to the beach, or there's tons of coffee shops. It's in this great location. I live in Whistler, and I'm able to pop down really easily, come over the bridge there too. So if you're coming from North Vancouver, take the ferry, it's a $5 taxi, I think, from the sea bus, or transit also goes right by. Yep. And it's a beautiful walk from the closest SkyTrain station, even in Yaletown. It's not that far. It's about a 20-minute walk. But again, you could also pop on a bus there as well. So lots of ways to get there, and it's a beautiful location if you haven't been there on English Bay in Vancouver. So welcome.
This way, so you're not falling out of the screen.
I think it'd
be out of the screen.
Well, no. If I open this up, I'm actually.
Oh, there you are.
Screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just because of the view on the computer.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna pop up our questions here. Where did they go? So we're both on track. So, we're at the Cheshire Hotel. I want to say hotel. We're at the Cheshire Cheese restaurant. We found this upstairs at the Quay on North Vancouver, and I thought there was an elephant castle here before, but we found this great quiet space. So if you're looking to meet up with someone and have a one-on-one, this is a great spot. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into our questions.
Oh, okay. So I am a retired lawyer, and I started off as being a really quite dreadful presenter who didn't want to present ever at all. And through a series of things, I got better. I learned how people learn and remember, and I now teach people how to give informative and memorable presentations.
Awesome. And so you've created a whole business around this.
I have.
But tell us a little bit more about you. Because I know you have a dog named Gregory.
I do have a dog named Gregory. I live in North Vancouver with my husband and my son for another 4 months or so, when my son will be 26 in May, and he is probably going to Europe, subject to what's happening with COVID-19.
Yes.
But he's planning to go to Europe, but he will be starting work at Microsoft in Seattle in September after he graduates from SFU this spring. So that's so exciting. And so I have my dog Gregory, and I do all sorts of extracurricular things we'll get to during the questions.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. I was really excited to hear that you work with Dress for Success. It's not something that we have since the beginning that we've donated to, with some direction from Debbie, who's a past member. She's moved to Quebec, so she's actually still a member. You can move away, but we're still going to keep you as a member of the ladies meeting. Hopefully hopefully she'll stay connected. She actually came back and visited, but
Nice.
she really helped us get connected with Dress for Success. People would bring purses and I'm sure you'll tell us more about that. So I won't.
We'll get to that. We'll get there.
Okay. So how long have you lived in North Vancouver?
Well, I grew up on the east side of West Vancouver,
Oh,
so almost North Van.
You're kind of
right above Park Royal.
You're a local girl.
And I moved back to North Van. I think it was 86 or 87, something like that.
Well, last night I went up for dinner at the Schnitzel House.
Oh, yes.
And with 3 guys that all went to elementary school here.
Yep.
And their wives. I'm not the wife yet. I'm just the new girl myself. But they were talking about the tomahawk for breakfast. Yep. And I got sent to Harmony Donuts, which is, she makes all these handmade donuts. And they're talking about all these old clubs and places that they got in trouble as kids, which I'm like, you probably know all of these.
Well,
spots.
I don't know. I didn't get in much trouble as a kid, so well, maybe not.
Some of them were just restaurants, or Dan's dad used to own, he was Lancy Taylor's at 229, I think, Lonsdale.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, my dad used to own this. So it was so cool just to hear a little more real history. So yeah, cool. So what are the 3 most important things we need to know about you?
That I haven't already said in my intro.
Yes.
Okay. 3 most important things. I love jazz and folk. Or no, not jazz. It's the only type of music I don't love. I love classical and folk music.
Excellent. Favorite composer?
Oh, that's so hard. There's so many good ones. I'm going to a concert. Well, Beethoven's, whatever it is, 250th year or something. So I went to concert. VSO did a concert on Saturday night that I went to.
Yes.
And tonight I'm going to a chamber concert by VSO people, sort of, with sort of a Beethoven violin sonata and a quintet and a few other things.
Have you ever played an instrument?
Yeah, as a child from about 5 to about grade 12, I played the piano. Not the standard going through all the levels, sort of, not Royal Conservatory levels. Right. I mean, I did do scales, of course.
Yes,
yes, I did scales.
Yes, I had to do scales.
Yes.
I only got to level 1 Royal Conservatory though.
I think I did one. My teacher was amazing because her sort of approach was do what you love to do. And then every now and then, if you wanted to do a conservatory exam, she would, and she every now and then would have you do one. I think I might have done one. I think it might have been grade 6, but I'm sort of making that up. I'm not sure that's right. Yeah. Haven't played much recently, but I think I have enough sort of memory that it would. I mean, if I started playing now, it wouldn't be any good, but I could get it back.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I also play the guitar, or played, that's probably also past tense right now, but again, I could get
bring
it back
whenever.
I can bring it back, but just sort of chording for singing, not not classical guitar, but just sort of boom, 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 that kind of stuff. Not fancy guitar at all.
Not Greek 7 strings,
no.
12 string.
No.
Yeah, I have a friend that does that. It's just
that's amazing, but no, that's not me.
I actually just found a Groupon for anyone who things you forget about Groupon, because I would like to learn to I've been trying to learn to play the cello, and I would really like an instructor in North Vancouver, and I found a Groupon.
Oh wow!
I totally forgot about that for North Vancouver.
For a cello?
For cello, yeah. Whoever this is, I haven't explored it yet, but it was like $48 for 4 lessons.
Whoa. That sounds good.
Start. Yeah, so fun.
Cool.
And I learned to really fall in love with the composers when I did in grade 12, when grade 11 did music composition. And so we learned a lot of history.
Yeah.
A lot of it was music history.
That would be really good.
Yeah. That's one more. We need 2 more things.
Oh, okay. 2 more things. I had it all figured out, but I didn't realize we'd have a talk before we got here.
That's okay.
2 more things.
It just means I have to dig for more. Do you like gardening? No. That's
I have a garden, but no. Okay. No, I like hiking though. I love Lighthouse Park.
Hold on. You have a garden very close to another garden that I will be gardening, so good to know.
Okay. If you had a garden in my garden, you'd be more than welcome.
That may be possible.
More than welcome. So love hiking in Lighthouse Park. My favorite park in all of Greater Vancouver. And once a year, I go with the women in my Dress for Success program called the PWG Alumni, and take them for a hike there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're going to go for a hike tonight, actually.
Where are you going?
Well, we're going to go indoor rock climbing, but the weather's so beautiful.
Yeah.
We're going to do what I don't know. You're going to know this. It's the Lynn Valley Loop.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
which I've never done before.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
That would be
about
nice.
that. Yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit, because I don't like elevation. So it's apparently stairs up and then just easy down. So
Oh, that should be okay.
yeah, we're gonna do that before dinner. So I'm
Nice.
excited. Yeah.
That sounds lovely.
Number 3.
Okay.
One more
so-
thing. I love dragging this out of people. There's always something.
Music I did.
Any other hobbies we need to know about? Do you crochet, knit? I don't know any lawyers that do. So.
No. I guess the other thing, I was for, I don't know, 4 or 5, no, probably 4 years, co-chair of the Women Lawyers for Mentoring Committee.
Oh my God.
And I'm still on the mentoring committee, and I'm actually organizing an event that will also be on March 31st.
Oh wow.
I'm not speaking at it, I'm just organizing it. I'm having a meeting with our panelists
She's a force to be reckoned with. She's just, you're amazing. So the reason I asked about crochet is I'm now going into grandchild number 3. It's halfway cut.
Yes.
And I figured, because I've never learned to oh no, I'm good, thanks for now. I never learned to knit.
Yeah. I have knit. When I said I don't crochet, I've never crocheted. I have tried to knit.
Once I went and took a class.
Okay.
And I thought I would just at least do a scarf for my daughter as a gift to show I could be a good grandmother, and I still haven't finished it because I literally, my hands go numb and it's just a disaster. But I'm like, okay, grandchild number 3. I think I better go join a circle or something, right? So there was a Groupon for that too.
Oh, good.
Yeah. There might be some North Vancouver things. Okay, you're out of your number 3 thing.
Okay.
What is work and what is play?
So work is sort of the systems stuff around the business. So bookkeeping and filing and all that stuff.
Thank you for not saying, I love my work is my play, because you know what? That's bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's not my play. I do love giving presentations, and I love training others to do presentations. So that is part of my work. That
doesn't mean you don't enjoy it.
That is almost play.
Almost, but not quite.
But not quite. So play is definitely hiking life as part, which I've already mentioned.
Yep.
Going to music events, either the one I'm going to tonight or the folk music festival that I've been to every year for the last, every year but one for the last.
What folk music festival?
Vancouver. Jericho Beach.
And what's I've never been. So what would you say? If there's one thing you have to experience.
That.
See, that just made you glow.
That.
What would you go to at? Because I mean, these things kind of overwhelm me sometimes. I get to them and I'm like, there's so much to do that you feel like you're missing something.
You come with me.
Oh, okay.
Because I put down so there is the main stage, which is Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and you get there early in the morning and you put down your tarp.
Oh.
And any warm clothes you're going to need in the evening. Like you can just leave stuff.
Right.
It's almost like it's not part of Vancouver.
Oh. It's like Whistler.
Yeah.
People are always surprised. I'm like, don't worry. If you lost your wallet, you'll probably get it back.
I did get my wallet back at the Folk Fest. I wouldn't suggest losing it to test out in theory.
I've got 2 wallets back, each with over $1,000. Well, one was $600 and 2 $1,000 wallets in Whistler. People are like, what? The guy from Ireland, he's like, if I had $5 in my wallet, I would never get back. And I'm like, here's your wallet with $5 back.
So it's sort of like that, yes. So, and my tarp has sort of a whole bunch of people from all sorts of different connections in my life.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
So I always buy a ticket for a member of PWG,
right,
or alumni. So a Dress for Success client comes, and then I have some lawyers who come, and then some friends from different places.
Like a new tradition.
It's really fun.
What's the approximate date?
July. I want to say 16th, if that's a Friday.
I will put it in the calendar and take the day off.
So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
I do a group early bird for it. So you buy the 3 days for about the price of 1 day and a bit.
Perfect.
It's an amazing deal. And if the weather cooperates, it's a wonderful deal. And if it's pouring rain,
we just only paid for 1 day.
Sort of. It's a little more than 1 day, but it's not way more.
And what's your favorite thing?
During, I think my favorite part of the festival, other than the tarp with all the people on, but my favorite part is finding. So during the day, there are 5 or 6 stages all going at the same time.
Okay.
And what they do usually is put together people who don't seem to have anything in common often. And so it's finding new people who you didn't know about, or new music that you didn't know about. And that's almost always at the workshop stage. It's not main stage, because main stage is where.
What's workshop stage? So that's when they put the people together.
So there's 5 or 6, and they're called workshop, even though they're probably not all workshop. In fact, none of them are probably what
this is
we
all
call
whole new
workshop.
world to me.
So so there's 5 or 6 workshop stages.
Right.
What that means is, at any one time, somebody will be doing a concert on one of those. So just one performer or one group. And then the others will be a mix of people. And sometimes they'll say do a stage, if it's a Woody Guthrie anniversary, they'll do a stage of Woody Guthrie, and they'll have a bunch of people singing Woody Guthrie songs.
Right.
Or they'll do a stage of Latin music, and they'll have somebody from Mexico.
Those 12-string guitars we're talking about.
They'll have maybe a Mexican group or singer, and a Peruvian one, and maybe somebody from Spain, right?
So they get to know each other.
Yeah.
Share their
exactly.
tips and tricks, right?
So some of them are instrument based. So it might be a fiddle workshop, or a accordion, if there's enough people doing that year, or a guitar workshop, of course.
Top secret knowledge. I inherited an accordion once, but it was broken. So my grandmother apparently played accordion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's themes. So maybe it's love songs, or maybe it's political songs, or maybe so the workshops can be anything, and they are almost never what one would consider outside the Folk Fest context a workshop. Right. Because it's not them, usually it's not them doing something with you. Where
they're learning from each other.
They're learning from each other. And you get to watch.
You know what's really interesting is we were talking, somewhere there was a discussion, maybe it was, I'm going to guess it was CBC, because that's my favorite place.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how different music styles got around the world, and it's because ships were workshops.
Yes.
And so there'd be a Swedish sailor, an Irish sailor, and an African sailor. And they would
all
trade,
share. Yeah.
Because it's kind of how African music got to the Americas and things like. Because these people would be workshopping on a ship.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because you're trading styles, and on a ship you're there for months sometimes, right? And so they're learning each other's musical trade, and musical instruments. So they'll trade instruments.
Yes, exactly. And that's how the instruments move.
Yeah, because everyone's like, how did the banjo get to America? And it became because the banjo was an African instrument that came to America. And it was the slave ships.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
So put it in. I'll send you the actual dates.
Oh, I can't
put it
wait.
in your calendar.
I can't wait. And what else is play for you?
What else is play?
Did you ever do anything on the ocean? Being living on the coast.
I kayak. I like kayaking.
Oh,
I don't do it very often, but I like kayaking. And I love swimming. Again, don't do it very often now, but I like swimming. I like kayaking. I've done canoeing. I like kayaking better.
Have you paddleboard yet?
I have tried that once, and that's not my thing.
I mix it up. I kayak on the paddleboard. So then you're free. Okay. You're open and free to put your legs in the water, but you've got a kayak paddle. So
that might be better.
It's just fun. And then I take both paddles with me, so if I get tired, I have a concussion, so I get a little dizzy sometimes, so I can just sit down
and paddle. That's interesting. Okay.
I used to call it cross paddling because I had the old windsurfing board. And I'd be out in White Rock, and people would be like, what is she doing? And I'm like, cross paddling. It's a new sport. You haven't discovered it yet, but I'm creating it.
Oh, that's lovely.
And it was before saddle paddle boards were really very big, but I had this free big old windsurfing board, the big kind, right? So
I tried stand-up paddle boarding at Whistler at the Every Woman Conference.
Right.
Have you been to that? Do you know what that is?
It's the one apparently that everyone says I should bring back, and I will not do that because apparently they didn't make money.
Well, no, they definitely didn't make money.
See, everyone knows that, so why would I do that? Sorry.
But it was the most wonderful conference, and because almost everything, paddleboarding would have been a little longer because of setup and stuff, but almost everything was 45 minutes.
Nice.
45 minutes is perfect.
Yeah.
Because 45 minutes, this is the best thing ever, and I'm coming back to Vancouver and finding it.
Right.
Which was Nia for me. That actually should be my other play thing is Nia, and I'll tell you what that is.
I can't wait to hear what that is.
That sort of one is, this is amazing, and I've got to find it when I go home.
Right.
2, this is wonderful, and I'll do it again at this conference.
Right.
but I'm not going to go find. For example, I've done capoeira.
Right.
You know what?
Capoeira,
yeah, where they kick your head, or kick where your head used to be.
Yeah, my brother used to do that.
That's not something I really want to get into.
But it was like.
But it was fun. They did a very, very.
I tried that next.
But I'd do it again if it was at the level that it's done at the conference, which is very beginner.
Right.
Like it was fun, and I'd do it again there.
Right.
But I don't want to.
Yeah.
And the third is, okay, I've done it, and it's not for me.
Right. Check that box.
Stand-up paddleboarding was that. Bar method is that for me. And interestingly, because I thought I'd really like it, Tai Chi is that for me.
I always recommend it to my mom and things like that, and I don't know.
Well, I thought as I got older that it might be something I'd like, and for me, I've got a torn ACL in one knee, and it doesn't bother me most of the time, but holding positions.
It's funny, my mom says that her knees get sore with Tai Chi, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So there needs to be some work on that somewhere. But that's interesting. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about the Every Woman contest, because obviously there's something amazing about it, but it just needs to be structured differently. So we shall see.
Yeah.
And paddleboarding, I get a deal with Redboard because I work at a gym.
Right.
So I'm excited to maybe see what I can do with that. So that's really good information for 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, 45 is great because you can put up with anything for 45 minutes. So I did bar for 45 minutes.
Yeah, my daughter loves bar.
And it doesn't work with my knees, so I won't ever do it again. But I won't have paid for like 6 weeks of something thinking it would be good.
And not do it. I love that they're doing ballet lessons out here in the middle.
It's cool.
We're upstairs in the thing, and there's just this random space that could be used for anything, and they're doing ballet lessons. Yeah. So beautiful. And what was the thing you were talking about?
Nia.
What is
so that? I found Nia at Everyone.
Never heard of it.
No, most people haven't. Nia is a combination of dance, martial arts, and yoga, done primarily so it's done with a facilitator or an instructor. They are, unlike Zumba, which is similar to it in some ways, unlike Zumba, the instructor actually talks you through what you're doing.
Right. So more like a yoga class?
Yeah. But there is no doing it wrong. As long as you are moving and it feels good, you're doing it right.
Oh, so you don't have to do the same thing with everybody at the same time.
You're trying to do that because it is a class, and you're trying not to go left if they're going right, or you're going to run into each other.
That's a good point.
But when I started, I'm not a dancer in my childhood, I didn't dance. And so, when they first time I go to Nia, that they have a jazz square, and I get completely confused.
What's a jazz square?
Exactly. That was me. I'm not sure I can describe what it is.
And I took jazz dancing, but I don't know what a jazz square is.
I've done a jazz square and jazz dancing. Anyway, I can't describe it. Look it up.
Okay. I want to look it up.
But the first time I didn't know my feet wouldn't do what they were supposed to do, and now having done Nia for a number of years now I can do.
So you went and found it when you got home?
Well, I tried to. So when I found it at Every Woman, which was probably 15 years ago, I came back to Vancouver and I couldn't find anything. It was, there were a few places, but it was like White Rock, and I live in North Van. Yes, I want to do it, but I'm not going there. Or it was midday and I was working full time at the time. I'm not doing that. So now, it was at West Van. Somebody was coming from Bowen Island to do it at West Van Rec Center for a while, and then this class got too small for it to be worth it for her.
Is that the one where they have the pottery studio?
At West Van? Maybe, I don't know. I didn't go pottery. I just did Nia. And so now I go, every Sunday I go downtown to the dance center, which is Davie and Granville, and I do an hour and a half Nia class.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's wonderful. I love Nia. And I walk out with a smile on my face. No matter how I felt walking in, I feel better walking out. You can't say better than that. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
You fit everything in. And you take the bus everywhere too.
Oh yeah,
I think that's amazing.
Yes, I do. Almost everywhere. I do have a car. I can drive. But we have one car and all three of us drive.
Right.
So
make it work.
Yeah. So and I like the bus.
Yeah, me too. I love it. My favorite is the C bus. I love that. I'll park in North Vancouver because you can get the free parking here.
Yes.
I mean, obviously when we're at the Sylvia Hotel, it's free parking, so that's great. But when I'm going to downtown Vancouver often, I'll just take the sea bus
Yeah.
over because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is
And it's
beautiful.
fun.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the tankers and
Yeah, and when the cruise ships are in, assuming there still are cruise ships this summer.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. If there's something you want others to help you achieve and support, like your nonprofit or something, what would it be?
Yeah. Dress for Success Vancouver for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Can you tell us a bit more about it?
So
I think a lot of people don't know the initial history of it.
Yeah, so Dress for Success started in New York City.
Oh, see, didn't know that. That's amazing.
And it was a young law student, or maybe she was just a baby lawyer. She might have just become a lawyer, but
are we allowed to call them that? Baby lawyer?
I can. I'm a lawyer. I'm not sure others can, but I can.
I love it.
As a lawyer, I can. But when she was a little girl, she went to her grandfather or great-grandfather's office.
Right.
And he was like one of those really old guys who still goes to the office.
Yeah.
And doesn't, is there for consultation with the others. Like, doesn't do much real work. But it's sort
facilitated things.
Yes,
in
exactly.
A suit.
In a suit. Yes, in a suit.
In a suit. I think the suit part, you're gonna understand why in a minute, but the suit part was important.
So she came to, she would, as a little girl, come see him. And from his office, he could see people lining up for jobs in sort of the garment industry in New York.
Right.
And he would look out and he'd say, they'll hire her. They won't hire her or her or her. They'll hire her, not her. And she said, what? How do you know that?
Oh my gosh, this is such a great story.
And he said, I can tell by what they're wearing and how they're standing. And if they are sort of in horrible clothes, and then they're probably standing sort of like this. And so when he died, he left her $5,000. And she started Dress for Success in a church basement, I think, or in New York. I don't know where. I want to say Harlem, but I'm not sure I'm right about that. Anyway, so then about 4 years later, maybe, Dress for Success Vancouver was the first international, outside the US, affiliate of Dress for Success. Worldwide now has, and I would have looked this up, but I didn't, but they have affiliates all over the world now. Right. And I've been to a couple of their annual conventions. I was chair of the board for a while.
There's annual conventions? I had no idea.
We
just donated purses and things like that and some cash, and because we also to My Sister's Closet, which is a retail store that if it's not nice enough for Dress for Success, then we'll send it to the retail store, which helps kind of the level before that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's right. So the annual, there's two actual annual conferences. One is sort of the conference for the board members of and the executive directors and staff, but primarily executive directors, like senior staff of the affiliates all over the world. So I met people from New Zealand and Ireland and France and
like-minded people.
Oh yeah,
looking to help other women.
Exactly. And then separately, and this one I haven't been to, but there's a Success Summit, which is clients who get put forward by their organization, and they go somewhere and they learn about leadership. Right. And they come back and they do a community action project. And then they file a report. And if they're very lucky, they get to go back again.
Oh, nice. And I think the beautiful part is, I was speaking to someone yesterday, for example, who she's like, I want to have more leadership qualities. I'm like, you just told me about all these things that you did, and that is personal leadership. It is? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. And so like, be able to change your own point of view about leadership and that personal leadership comes first. Yeah. I think that when you go out and see different people and what they've done, you get to see what a great thing you've done for yourself. Yeah. As well,
and the cool thing about the CAP project, Community Action Project, is they do it with the other members of PWG and alumni. So they have to lead a team. They have to get people working together. Challenge. They have to get agreement from the group that what they have in their head they want to do, the group wants to do too. That isn't always the case.
I've never been on a PAC committee that did that. For those who know, Parent Advisory Committee. it's a challenge. My daughter's, she's 25 and she's now got a 4.5-year-old and she's on committees with her. She works for a child care. They've got 3 buildings. It's a big nonprofit, and she didn't understand why I gave her Robert's Rules of Order revised for Christmas one year before she had. I kind of knew where she was going, and she didn't understand Robert's Rules of Orders. I'm like, just trust me,
you're gonna need it.
You're crazy, Mom.
Now she says thank you. Not yet.
She's been through her first board.
Oh, only her first. Okay, maybe not quite yet.
But I said, get that book out. You're gonna need it, and you'll be miles ahead of the crowd. So learning Robert's Rules of Orders and how to have a good meeting is a skill.
Yeah.
Or it can quite quickly be in a disaster zone. I've been on a PAC committee that got disbanded.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Yeah, it does happen. You get a lot of very strong-minded people that don't understand Robert's Rules of Order and things like that. Look it up. We'll put that on the book list below. It can go into disarray very quickly.
Sure can.
So they're really good skills to learn how to work with other people and to learn to respect other people's opinion and let other people put their opinion forward and not be unkind in rejecting them.
Right, exactly.
I'm not saying you're crazy.
Yes.
So it's a huge
So
skill.
Dress for Success does more than most people think it does.
Yeah.
So most people, especially given its name, Dress for Success, you must do clothing. And indeed we do, and it's really important. So clients who have gone through job training with some organization, usually sometimes they self-refer and haven't, but normally they've been through job training, say with the YWCA or some other organization that does job training. They come in when they're ready to go for an interview. And they get an outfit to go to their interview. And they, but more important, frankly, I mean, the outfit is wonderful. But equally important is that someone spent an hour of their time making them look good, right? And so they walk in sort of, no one would hire me. And they walk out going, oh, I could get this job. Yeah. It's really cool.
Well, and I think it's the fact that you've been seen as well. It's like, I don't know, you can go back in the entrepreneurcollective.com and look at an article I posted on homeless people with their dogs.
Yes.
And what people with the dogs notice is they get seen because they have a dog.
Yes.
Right? People come to pet their dog and then they see them. Right. And so sometimes we just need to be seen and be treated kindly because of something. Yeah. And even if it's for an hour. It sometimes is enough to heal a little something.
Yeah. And then when they get their job, they can come back and get a small working wardrobe, so they don't have to wear their interview suit, usually, not always a suit, but usually every day to the office, right? They have a bunch of sweatpants and then they have their suit, right?
Right, yeah.
So they can come back and they get a sort of mix and match wardrobe, another hour of personal
next level.
Personal style coaching, I guess.
And I think then again, someone to share the experience.
Well, exactly. Too, right? I got this job and someone to celebrate with and all that stuff.
Yeah, really key important parts.
And everyone who is invited back for that second suiting is invited to join our professional women's group. What I will tend to call PWG, professional women's group. And that is now a 12-month program, monthly meetings for 12 months. And it provides training, I want to say, around the outside of the job. So how to network effectively, how to deal with difficult people. Most offices have at least one, somehow a lot more than that. And then, you know, how to deal, now that you've got some money coming in, what do you do with it? And all that kind of thing. So there's sort of training around the outside of the job.
Well, my daughter, at 21, she had her name on the door at the bank. And I say that in a bragging way, but the reason she was able to do that, I think, is because she was in Girl Guides and she was in Sea Cadets.
Yeah.
And what that did is gave her the tools to deal with other difficult girls.
Yes.
Right? And just to not worry about the fray and worry about getting the job done. Because if you ever walked on a Sea Cadet camp in the summer, they're there for 6 weeks. Once they're at the upper ages, and you wouldn't know there wasn't an adult running the show. Because they've learned to get along and get the job done, and that's a skill that you have to learn, and it can really show up in the job place.
It sure can.
And if you've never had that experience, how are you going to know?
Right.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. So there's 3 things that PWG gives you. That is 1, the training around the outside of the job. 2 is mentoring, and we have topic area mentors So if you have a financial issue or budgeting issue, you go to this person. If you have an HR issue, you'd go to that person.
Right.
And then third, and frankly, I think most importantly, is a community of friends. And that is because no matter who you are, there's someone like you there. And if you're, so we have, I mean, the range is amazing. So we have a lot of foreign trained professionals who don't speak English or didn't speak English particularly well, or do speak English, but their credentials are somewhere else, so they can't actually work here. Ranging through people, hair in my mouth. Did I get it? Okay. Ranging through, you know, maybe it's somebody who stayed at home with the kids for a number of years and now is trying to get back in the workforce. Maybe it's someone who has a mental health issue and it's
and being able to talk to someone who understands where you're coming from helps. We say all ships rise, but sometimes you need to be at that same level to be able to get to them, like someone else who understands you, so and who is also striving to move forward and to rise. Because I think there's nothing more challenging than someone else saying like, what's wrong with being where you are right now when you're striving to move forward and to build something. It's one of the things I think that keeps a lot of people down. Is so being around other people who want to make, you know, $5,000 a month, because, you know, or want to make $10,000 a month, or find a job that is really sustainable and have a retirement, or to feel safe. Right. And sometimes finding those people is really hard if you're coming from a challenging community. Right? And not showing off, because ego, well, we don't want to show ego. We're women. What do we? And different cultures.
Different cultures.
Repress
very
the
much
ego
so.
of women
Even
more than
more so.
most. It was International Women's Day yesterday, and I was talking with my boyfriend, and he's just like, he had been listening to CBC, and he's like, I just didn't know how bad it was. He has a daughter, and he wants her to run the world. He's like, we need more women presidents. But I'm like, you know, honey, most men don't. Actually. You know? And he's like, I just don't get it. And ironically, many of these men were raised by women. So, you know, finding other like-minded people that are willing to change the world, even in just little ways, is a challenge. Right?
So the thing we do to help connect people, I would say, is every meeting starts with yayas.
Oh, that's my grandma name.
Yayas is not your grandma. Yayas is something good that happened to you since the last meeting.
Oh, I love it.
So it might be, I got a promotion, or I got a pay raise, or I passed my probationary period, or it might be my son got accepted to Sauder Business School, or I went back to my home country for the first time in 15 years, or like it can be anything. It's not necessarily work related. It is something good that's happened since the last meeting.
And that's what we try to do. I mean, we need to be more specific with the ladies' meetings. But I'm not Greek, so I use Yaya because it refers to the divine secrets of the Yaya sisterhood.
Okay. Which may be where this came from. I don't know.
And that's where I'm seeing the connection, because sharing good things is so important. We go around and say, I can, I have, I want, because I want women to say what they want. And what and they're more likely to get it if we say it out loud. And so I love this.
It's amazing. We need to move on.
We need to switch it up.
I know, otherwise we'll be here for hours.
That's true. But I love the Yaya thing.
Yayas are
bring
great.
That back to me later.
Will.
If you could pick one book that everyone should read, what would it be?
It's called Price Paid. It's by Bev Sellers, who comes from, I don't know if she's Sokotan or Secwepemc. I think she's Secwepemc, the First Nations near Kamloops. I think that's where she's.
Sokotan or
no, Sokotan is a little farther west from there. West from Williams Lake. Anyway, she wrote this book. She has another book called I was called Number One, which is about her time in residential school. Price Paid is essentially about sort of North American history, if you want, from an Indigenous perspective. Every chapter starts with a question that really makes you think. So if you had a home and you invited someone in and offered them food, does that make it their home? If you had a home and I don't know what they all are, but everyone starts with something like that.
Oh, I love
It is everyone in Canada should read it. It is an astounding book, in my view, and it
I wonder
makes
if we
sense.
get a bookstore to sponsor us at our next meeting.
That would be cool.
Let's see how many people we can
yeah.
get this book out to.
It sort of makes, having read it, you understand sort of what it's like being First Nations in Canada and what it has been like over the past and what it's still like.
Yeah, and there's been such a lack of education. If I didn't happen to I have my Bachelor of Fine Arts, so I spent 7 years with 2 women in particular in university whose parents had been part of the 60s.
Yes.
So it was really personal to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have a friend's mom who wouldn't speak to me because I'm white.
Yes.
And I didn't understand.
Yeah, and this book helps put everything in perspective.
They educated me.
Yeah.
I have one person that took me 10 years for her to believe that I was her friend. Yeah. You know, and it's if you don't get it, you don't get it.
Yeah. No, that's the book I think everyone should read.
Cool. Next one. What is your favorite thing to do with friends? We may have already covered that.
I could pick a number of different things. What haven't I covered? So I was good. When I was looking in advance, my answer was going to be sharing a tarp at Main Stage.
You seem pretty passionate about that.
I am. But it might also be going to I love challenging theater. So sharing challenging theater with a friend, like going to something.
Define challenging theater.
Challenging theater is theater that is looking at interesting.
So by topic, you mean?
It covers a topic. So the best thing I've ever been to is a musical by Corey Payette called Children of God.
Okay.
It is a musical, and musicals are usually I love musicals.
They're not always happy.
No, they usually are.
Yeah,
Most musicals very fluffy and light and lots of fun, and it's fun, but you don't frankly remember them for more than, they were fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Next,
Children of God is a musical about residential school and the impact. So half of it's set in residential school and the other half is set sort of currently
right.
And you sort of the characters go back and forth. It is amazing. And the ending is brilliant. I don't want to give it away, but the ending is brilliant.
And does it come back in certain places?
I'm sure it will come back. I saw it here when it premiered here maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I walked out of the theater and said, my friend Lisa has to go. Lisa's a member of PWG alumni and she is Inuit and she went to residential school. And I took her back. So I saw it twice. The first time it was here, it came back last year and I went again. And when it comes back next time, I'll go again.
When you always catch something more, right?
You get different things from it every time.
And different performances bring out different things as well. Next question. What is a product you're rarely without?
And the reason is because I travel by bus. I have this, are you
iPhone or are you?
iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm iPhone and I have a wonderful app that tells me and shows me where my bus is. I do other things on it, but that is why I have it with me.
Yeah. You get to show it tells you when you're going to get where you want to
go. Exactly. Very important.
What do you hope you can be doing 10 or 20 years from now that you are doing?
I hope I can still actually be changing how informative presentations are given, making them memorable and not dull and boring, right? That's what I hope.
People.
Yeah, but in a way that they'll remember longer than.
Are you going to move into maybe 3D presentations then? Because that's what's coming. Going to be teaching people to teach to someone who's not in the room, but it can see them like they are. Because that's my goal, is to do the coffee house and the ladies meeting. Yeah. And Facebook already has this. You can do presentations and a meeting, and the wine glass you pick up will be the one that someone else sees across the room, but you're 100 miles away.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Absolutely. That would be fun.
That would be the next
at some point, but not right now. First, I have to get going.
Getting those guys. The idea
but 10 years from now, or
the idea
5
of
years
putting
from now,
goggles on and being at a conference with these other people. Because there's this ad out now showing seniors swimming with dolphins because they've got their 3D goggles on. I guess it wouldn't be 3D, it'd be like Aldi.
I don't know. Yeah.
Aldi. Do you have a life hack for us? Do you have some life experience?
I do have some life experience. Yes, I think I sort of have two, but I'll pick one. I think I have something on my phone called the Gratitude app. Mm-hmm. And it is, I mean, it's just really a calendar. Like, it's not really.
Yeah.
But, and what I do in it, I have sort of a little system. So I have and I fill it in every day. And it's on my phone, so I can do it on the bus and stuff.
Yeah.
So 5 successes. So they start with I. I did 3 great gratitudes. So that's grateful for someone. Mm-hmm. So they all start with so-and-so for, or an organization sometimes for.
Yeah.
And then one action towards your big dream. And these are all at least. So sometimes
you can go on if you want.
Exactly. So at least one action towards your big dreams.
Right.
And at least one action to increase your happiness.
Right.
And then your happiness set point for the day between 1 awful day and 10 the best day ever.
Cool. That sounds like it'd be good to blend that in with the 6-phase meditation that Vishen Lakhiani does, which is he's taken all of the best meditation pieces, which is gratitude, goal setting, things like that, and done it into a six steps basically. So it sounds very cool. Sounds like they'd be a good blend.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I hope
you've
gotten to know Brenda a little bit better. And if you haven't had a chance to RSVP for your ticket, she gets 10 free tickets to the ladies' meeting. So you should connect with her. You can connect with her on Facebook. You'll find a link somewhere below as well. We'll put all of her
and on LinkedIn
stuff in. And I really always recommend, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile set up, please do that. If you're in business, it just shows that you are professional. Connect with Brenda. How do you spell your last name? Just if people are watching.
Benham.
Right, Brenda. And just tell her where you found her as well, because it'd be great to hear.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And I've decided that we're going to also have a little competition. I don't know what the prize is. That for people who have listened to this at the ladies' meeting, we're going to do a competition, and it'll be what instrument did my grandmother play? What do you take to a folk festival and put your stuff on? Okay. What color should it be?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No,
okay.
Color doesn't matter.
And pick one more question that people have to answer about you that is somewhere in our video already.
What does PWG stand for?
Perfect. I love it. So there's 3 questions. We're going to have you'll get an extra entry into the door prize, and we'll come up with something cool as well. So if you want to find us online, you can go to ladiesmeeting.com. If you want to join our back office because you're a guy and you're in business, you can go to theentrepreneurcollective.com. And my name is Anissa Jane. You can find me on Facebook and on LinkedIn and Twitter, wherever. Pretty easy to find, and I can connect you into the right group and the right network for you. And I also do a 6-month business coaching as well. So if you are just getting into business and you want to really launch yourself out there, get a hold of me. I'm certified with Anthony Robbins and just did their Knowledge Broker Blueprint. And getting into business gives you the freedom to sit and have lunch with people that you really adore and think are amazing. And hopefully we'll see you on the last Tuesday of March 2020 at the Sylvia Hotel. Take care.
See you then.
Bye from North Vancouver.